Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
What up? What up? This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by the great George Kamel. Live from Nashville, Tennessee, we are taking your calls on your money, building wealth, doing work that you love, and creating and sustaining and hanging on to great relationships. So glad that you're with us today. We're taking live calls, 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. We have a packed house out here in the audience. Good to see everybody coming to visit us here in, actually we're in Franklin, just north of Nashville. But we are glad you are with us as well. Let's go out to Milwaukee. No. Let's go out to Dallas, D-Town, and talk to Cyrus. Hey, Cyrus, what's up, man?
Hello, how you doing?
Doing outstanding, my man. What's up?
I am 26. I have $160,000 worth of debt, and I am wondering if I should file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
Why'd you jump to that conclusion? What makes you think you can't crawl out of this?
Well, I've been working a lot, 2 jobs, constantly, not really able to get anywhere. Recently, about a year ago, I caught a case for a felony charge, and I am still going on actively with that case, trying to get probation. So it's been very difficult for me to find another job now that my background check is showing a felony charge.
So what are you doing now for work?
Yeah, so I'm working at Amazon. I'm making about $4,100 a month at a minimum. I can potentially make more depending on if they allow me to get overtime or work a 6-day. I'm working 5 days there as of right now.
Okay.
Last year I made $60,000 off of it, off of Amazon alone. But I'm just like drowning right now with payments, and I rounded up all my minimum payments for all my loans and everything, and my minimum is $5,300.
Whoa.
A month, and that's just on minimum payments. That's not including food or rent or anything else.
How have you made it so far? What's getting you through every month if you're going underwater?
So how did I make it so far? Well, I've been doing.
Are you going further into debt every month?
No. So I'm tapped out. I can't even get the debt consolidation loan. My credit is shot.
What kind of debt is this?
What is this debt, man?
Can you break down the 160?
Yeah. So I have a vehicle that's $51,000 I owe left on it.
$51,000?
Yeah, it's a Tesla Model Y Performance.
Oh, not a Tesla.
What's it worth?
Yeah. It's
not
only
51.
Worth $35,000.
How much?
$35,000.
Okay. What else?
I have 9 credit cards that a total of $55,000 worth of debt on that.
Okay.
And then I have the rest of my loans, which is $98,000, which is 3 personal loans and then my auto loan.
Your other what?
My auto loan.
Auto loan. You have another auto loan?
No. It's the Tesla.
Okay. So you got $51K on the car, 9 credit cards that are $55K, and then the other, what is that? Another 50 or 60 is in personal loans?
No. So total with the car, it's 98. So it would be another like 40 in personal.
Okay. Where did all this money go? What have you been spending on?
So
we're talking $100K in just spending.
Yeah. To make a long story short, I as I mentioned, I had a 3-year-old daughter. I was in a relationship with this woman. Basically, she was unfaithful to me. We broke up. Ever since then, I've been trying to honestly repair our relationship for our child, and also because, it's a woman that I love and care about. Well, long story short, it's been years of nonstop taking on her debts, paying, for food and basically living like two households the whole time. And yeah, basically just.
So she's been scamming you for this. I mean, she's been just leeching off you all this time, huh?
Yes. And now, recently I got, I moved, we basically broke up again, and I'm left with all this, and she doesn't want to make it work, and I've been continuing trying to make it work for my child, and this is where I'm at now.
Well, hold on. Making it work for your child is different than digging $150,000, $160,000 hole trying to impress a girl.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. And you have lied to yourself for the last 2 or 3 years saying, I'm quote unquote doing this for the baby, but you've been running around like with your peacock feathers out, trying to woo this woman. And she's been just happy to take your money, happy to take all your stuff, but it wasn't about that girl. And now again, I think you love your daughter. I think you're working as hard as you can. But man, you got to let the fantasy of this woman go. It's burying you. What's this felony charge about?
So it was. She had a guy in my apartment for the second time. All
right, let's do this. Let's stop there. I don't want you to say something that's going to get subpoenaed on the air. Let's just roll back to the money part. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Are you living alone right now?
So I was going back between my parents and her. I was in my car for a month. Last month I was in for a whole month, just because I couldn't go back to either one. So now I am back with my parents. They stopped drinking supposedly. So, I'm there for now. And this is another reason why I was thinking about bankruptcy, just because I have a case going on. I'm an unstable household. I can't rely on nobody right now. I'm a worker. I 2 years ago I made, $93,000 working doubles. I've been working nonstop 2 jobs for the last 3 years.
But bro, if you make 98 3 years in a row, you're out.
No, not 3 years in a year.
No. I'm telling you. I want you to hear George and I say we believe in you. If you make 90 grand for 3 years in a row, just straight hustling, you'll be out. You'll be free.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You'll be free. If you file bankruptcy, you're putting a chain around your neck and you're jumping into a lake.
Yeah. The problem I have is I've been applying for jobs, and my record with the felony charge.
I got it. It's very the deck is firmly stacked against you until you get that cleared. 100%.
Yeah.
But I have never one time. I've never. The guy who mows my lawn, I don't know if he's got a felony charge. He just does a great job, right? I mean, there's work to be had. It's not traditional work, and it's not fun work, and it is hard, grinding, hot, cold work, but there's work. What do you think, George?
Yeah, there's no shortcuts here. We got to get your income up ASAP. I would not file bankruptcy. You can get out of this, but it's going to take 3 years of hustle, throwing 50 grand at the debt, and that means getting that income up. And man, you're going to have to get creative. You might have to get a roommate or two, keep living with the parents, do what you got to do, but do not throw that chain around you just yet.
What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 different answers. Economic growth or a recession? Business taxes will go up or down. AI will help us work, or it will replace us all. But there's no such thing as a crystal ball. That's why more than 40,000 businesses have future-proofed themselves with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud enterprise resource planning system. Ramsey Solutions uses NetSuite, and you should too. Whether your company's earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. With one unified business management suite, there's only one source of truth for the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. NetSuite's real-time insights and forecasting help you see into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you can spend less time looking backward and more time focusing on what's next. And speaking of what's next, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. It's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey.
All right, we are back. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel, 888-825-5225, taking your calls on money and work and life, your mental and emotional health, whatever you got going on. I've got this QZ.com, looks like an internet-y article, but here's what it says. It says, talking about money makes people more uncomfortable than talking about politics and religion, says the survey here. That's actually been, George, that's been one of my personal experiences sitting with hurting people, man. I remember back to, I've talked about this on the show, I remember back to my practicum days when I was seeing clients. Man, people would talk about everything. Their past, their future, like really hard stuff, partners they've had, like everything. Did not want to talk about debt, money. It just was too sensitive of a topic.
I think is it too personal? Is there too much shame and baggage connected to that? Versus politics and religion, there's just like a tribe you're sort of connected to.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've been able to distill down. And again, I'm just speculating here. Is one, politics, religion, questions about sex, intimacy. All those they're tribal, right? You can get on the internet and find a gang, right? When it comes to your money, when you distill all the way down, there's that one question: what are you worth? And there's just nowhere to hide. It's just you. And how much money have you earned? What vacations have you gone on or not gone on? Like,
how much debt do you have?
How much do you owe? It just all comes down. And I think we put so much pressure on that one number. And here's what I hate about it. There's an old saying in among counselors and therapists: secrets will kill you, right? And so if you are out there talking about stuff and trying to get well and get healthy, but you feel so much shame around how much money you owe, or I don't even know how the stuff works. And I wish, when it comes to the mechanics of it, I wish people would believe me when I tell people I co-host this show and I text you on Saturdays asking you about a particular fund, or I text or talk to Dave about a particular question. We're always asking each other stuff. But I think there's an illusion that if you have a show or if you're on the internet, you know everything about everything. And so I feel embarrassed. I'm just not going to ask anybody anything. People just sit in it and they just keep making the same choices over and over. And they look up like the last caller and they're 160 grand in the hole, right? It's a zoo, man. It's a zoo.
That is wild. Yeah, that's on the Ramsey show. We're trying to make talking about money normal in a good way. Not, there's things that you shouldn't share at Thanksgiving dinner.
It says here only 14% said money is a normal topic at holiday gatherings with friends and family.
Good.
Don't go home.
I think it should be lower than that.
Yeah, don't go home and be like, all right, we're going to go around the table, we're going to pass the rolls, Aunt Janet, and then we're going to see everybody tell everybody what they make.
Who has the most debt?
Yeah, who made the most money this year? Let's go, Bill.
Dave Ramsey's not sitting around the Thanksgiving table talking about, hey guys, what's your favorite mutual fund lately? Let's talk stock returns.
Yeah, and I guess he could go around the table and ask everybody what they make, but all his kids work for him, so he kind of knows, right?
He knows. But the survey said 62% of people were highly uncomfortable sharing their financial details with friends and family. 38% said they're comfortable sharing bank information with family members and close friends. That should be 0%. Bank information? That's private. It's like saying, well, I don't want to share my social security number. I'm uncomfortable talking about. Yeah, that's a little personal. But I do think we should talk about money goals, money challenges. We don't have to get into specifics. Mm-hmm. But, we talk about this with relationships. It's good to talk about money values early on. Right. You don't need to get into here's how much debt I have, here's how much I make on the first date. Mm-hmm. But it's important to see, hey, what was money like for you growing up?
And I also think this, so George, I do think I can see money is such a sensitive topic that I can imagine going home and saying, hey, I had a great year. And you got one family member that's like, Oh, did we now? Ooh, George is so rich, right? Or that's immediately followed by, a cousin be like, hey man, I need $40. Can I? Right. So I get it. But that when everybody's sitting on a table or everyone's sitting on a friend group is hold on to something like, hey, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Right. Or like, I don't know how I'm going to make my payments, or hey, I had a really good year. Can I celebrate it with somebody? I'll tell you this, the first year, Own Your Past, Change Your Future at #1, it was a good year. I never had anything like it. I'm a cop's kid, right? My dad was a cop and a minister. My wife was raised by school teachers. It was a new year for us. I called one friend. I was like, I just need to tell somebody. And it was a cool little moment. He's a banker, and so I could never catch him. But he was like, but it was a cool moment to celebrate. And so you've got to have people that you talk about things you're scared about, talk about things that you can celebrate together. Right?
Absolutely. Well, I imagine there's a spectrum from if you're broke and you talk about money, there's a lot of shame. Mm-hmm. And if you're super well off and you talk about money, there's a lot of guilt. And so is there like this middle ground of everyone else is like, hey, we'll talk about it. I don't care.
Yeah. So I think for me, it comes back to you've got to find some people. You got to find some people, and it doesn't have to be your family. Doesn't have to be your immediate group of friends, but you need to find some people that you can have conversations about politics, about your faith, about, this one says 71% of people are more comfortable commenting on their weight. 81% said they're comfortable discussing their health. 78% said they openly discuss their political opinions or affiliation. 81% said they would openly discuss their religious views, and we ain't talking about money. Right. Mm-hmm. So we got to have places where we can just fully let our hair down and say, I'm not all right. Or can we just cheer for a second? I think there's
a right way to do it. I personally, as much as I talk about money for work, I don't do it unsolicited. Right. I don't just like hang out with friends. I'm like, hey man, let's talk about your financial goals. Where are we at? Right. I only talk about money when I'm asked about it or when people are openly sharing and they're looking for an opinion.
There you go.
And I think that's the important part.
Yep.
If no one's looking for opinion, even if you're like the Ramsey, diehard fan, it's not the time to just like ram it down their throat and be like, you better follow the Ramsey plan or else. Yeah. Nobody's excited by that.
Yeah. Or meeting somebody at the grocery store being like, guess what? I'm a millionaire. And they're like, yeah, dude, I can't afford eggs. Right. So there's a balance to it. But
I do love when someone passes me in Costco and they don't even say hi. They just go, paying cash for that. And they just keep walking. And it's just like an unspoken language we have together. So great.
Good on you.
I was at a jeweler and the girl there.
Oh, that was a flex. That was a good.
I was getting a watch repaired, John.
Okay, sure.
And she immediately, it was like, I realized I was like a priest. It was a confessional. She saw me and she went, I have a car loan, but it's not that much. It's the only that I have. There's $22,000 left. I'm working hard to pay. I was like, whoa, hey, release the guilt, Elise. Come on.
Well,
so she's working on it. I gave her a book and she's on the path. And so now she reports back anytime I see her. It's great. Money confessional.
I won't even tell you some of the strange conversations I've had waiting in airport lines and in bathrooms. And I
talk about money. You're talking about mental health, relationships, intimacy, the things people probably share with you unsolicited.
I can't possibly be top sitting at an airport. I'm pretty sure.
Not in a bathroom. Please tell me they don't do this in a bathroom.
That's happened a few times in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Like at a stall.
I thought there was an unspoken like guy rule.
Bro, you just stare at the tile right ahead of you. We all know that. You stare at the tile. But I've had 2 different times. Someone looks over and they're like, oh, hey, you're on that show. And I'm like, just look at the tile, man. And they're like, hey, so me and my wife, and it's like, not a good time. And they're always great. Like, oh, you're right. And I understand people get excited. But I have had one in a airport, in DFW airport. I think it was Dallas Love Field, when a couple came up and just started talking about their sex life.
It was just live therapy.
I looked at it, I was like, it's just not a great time. Like, I'm super, like, it means the world to me. I'll listen to the show, but kind of weird. And you can see it as they're talking. Yeah, we just made this exchange super weird. We're just going to go to Whataburger and call it, guys. Yeah. Good to see you guys.
So lesson learned here. There's a context and a place, an environment, a group that it's wise to talk about this stuff, and then other times there's good reason not to talk about it.
But I will say, you have to find people that you can talk about hard things with, period.
I think that's why Financial Peace University has been so powerful over the last 30 years.
It's called people into a room.
You show up and you go, oh, I'm not the only knucklehead that made mistakes. Oh, okay, we're all in this thing together. Oh, we're not going to just sit here and ridicule each other's mistakes. We're going to just focus on getting better. Wonderful.
And you get to weep together. And every week you walk in and you see an increasingly familiar group of people that's all doing hard stuff together, and you'll celebrate together. And I think that's an unspoken curse on our current generation is everybody talks about their problems. Like, what happened? Who said this? Can you believe this? Oh my gosh, so-and-so's running for president. Whatever. none of us, or very few of us, have people they can call and just be like, hey, can I just say something awesome happened today? My marriage is amazing. My kid's doing great. Can I just say that out loud? And we cheer each other on, right? And so find people that you can tell the hard stuff to, but also find people you can tell the great stuff to, especially about your money. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
A lot of financial institutions don't care too much about you, but they care a lot about getting their sweaty hands on your money. They have fancy furniture and marble columns in their lobbies because you're paying for them with high fees just to access your own cash. But Fairwinds Credit Union's different. Guys, you know I prefer credit unions because of their membership focus, lower fees, and better experience overall. Fairwinds has been in business for over 75 years, and we're excited to endorse them because they share the Ramsey mission of helping people get out of debt and living generously. They won't try to force debt products and loans on you, and it's easy to join Fairwinds no matter where you live. They serve hundreds of thousands of members worldwide. Anything you could do at a bank branch, you can do on fairwinds.org. Plus, your deposits are federally insured by the NCUA up to $250,000. So talk to my friends at Fairwinds and check out the combined checking and savings account bundle they created just for Ramsey fans. Go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey to learn more.
Hey, guess what? We just launched a brand new tour. Me, John Delony, and my buddy Dave Ramsey are hitting the road, coming to a city near you for the Money and Relationships Tour. It's 6 cities. It's the raddest theaters in the nation. And we're putting a new twist on it. Every stop is going to be an interactive night where you as the audience are going to vote on what we talk about. So if you see the list of things, we're going to put some topics up and y'all get to pick from 20 or 30. I don't know how many they're going to be up there. And it's just going to be like, all right, here we go. Let's go. And so that way we don't come to you and play the songs that we want to play. We're going to come and we're going to play the songs that you guys want to hear. We're going to be talking about money and relationships and so much more. Every night's going to be different. I promise you're going to laugh. I promise you, if we do our jobs, you're going to leave with some action items to go change your life. And, probably be a shed a tear or two as well. We're going to have a blast. We're kicking off in Louisville on April 21st, 2025, and then hitting up Durham, Atlanta, Phoenix, Fort Worth, and Kansas City. Early bird pricing is happening right now. Get your tickets to the Money Relationships Tour at RamseySolutions.com/tour. RamseySolutions.com/tour. And if you're checking this out on YouTube or podcast, it's in the show notes. All right, let's go out to Milwaukee and talk to Alex. What up, Alex? How we doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right, brother. What's up?
I was calling because I do pretty well. I do pretty well compared to everybody else, and I just feel like I'm stuck. Like,
what does
I'm
that
a pretty
mean?
ambitious guy.
What is pretty well compared to everybody else?
I make probably close to $400,000 a year.
Okay.
And
that puts you in the top 1% of any human who's ever existed in human history.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like an ambitious person, and I kind of feel stuck. Like I don't know what to do if I continue to grow. I've done a couple of different things, and they didn't pan out very well, and I failed at them. But done a couple other things that did well.
What do you do for a living?
I've learned. So my main income is I own a restaurant, and then my other couple of things I do, I also own a lube, and then I also do real estate.
A what?
Or real estate?
No, the one before that.
A lube, a quick lube.
Oh, okay. Now, I didn't know the industry lingo. Okay, that helps me.
What's
Thank
a
you.
quick lube?
Yeah. But
quick
the main
oil
source of
change.
income
Quick
is the
lube,
restaurant.
Lube.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about those sleds that they have at the bobsledding thing.
I thought you were like talking about you were like French and you owned the Louvre Art Museum.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fancy.
All right. So okay. Sweet.
So successful entrepreneur.
Yeah. Which one of these is your main breadwinner?
Yes, the restaurant.
Okay. And what's your question?
My question is, how do I continue to grow? I've experienced a couple of failures in the last couple of years with opening new businesses, and they didn't turn well. I don't really understand, like, Roth RHAs and all that kind of stuff. Like, my concept has always been invest in stuff. And
what do
then
you mean
that'll be
grow?
Like, my Social Security.
Are you talking about you want to invest in retirement? Are we talking about growing your income?
Yeah, in the medical community, unchecked growth is called cancer. So if you just wake up every day and like, I gotta grow, like, you're gonna implode. What are you trying to aim? What are you aiming for? What are you trying to get to?
I just I want to grow as a business person. I want to be able to create generational wealth, and like I know some people might feel like I've already done that, but like I just feel like I still have so much more to accomplish.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds like you're running from something. What are you running from? Because listen, Dave Ramsey is worth a god awful amount of money, and he is obsessed pathologically with helping hurting people. Mm-hmm. And money is just the byproduct of this obsession to help people be free. You have an obsession right now with, I got to get more and I got to get more and I got to get more. And usually for guys like you, that comes at the expense of their families, of their romantic partners, of their kids, of their health, of everything.
And that's true. Me and my wife had some problems a couple of years ago, and I realigned my priorities with my family, and that's gotten a lot better, and we're everything got fixed, and we're a lot happy, and we're.
Bro, how I know everything didn't get fixed? Because I've been married for 20-something years. It isn't just. It's not like a car engine. It's something you continue to grow together with. What's your ultimate question? What are you running from? What are you scared of?
No, I think I just.
What is driving the insatiable need for growth? It sounds like you watched a Grant Cardone video and now you're just like, bro, I got a 10X. I got a 10X. Like what's behind this?
You make $400,000 a year. Exhale.
I don't know if it's competition, and I'm not envious of anybody, but I look at my peers and I feel like I should be doing better.
That's the definition of envy. That's what it is.
Well, what I mean is what I'm trying to say is I'm not mad at what they have. I just I'm happy for them, and I'd like to learn. I like to hear people talk that do better than me. I want to learn. It's not that I wish them bad or I want I want to I'm angry at them. It's nothing like that. It's just it's like I'm competitive that way in this regard.
All right, here's your homework. You ready for your homework? You're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Promise me. Say, I promise I'll do whatever you tell me.
I promise I'll do what you tell me.
All right. You just said that in front of millions of people. If you lie, you'll probably get struck by lightning. Probably not, but it's just fun to say that. All right. Number one, you cannot get on TikTok or Instagram for 30 days.
I don't do those anyway.
I'm just telling you. Number one, no social media for 30 days. Number two, you have to go for a walk with your wife in the morning or in the evening with no phones, no devices for at least 30 minutes every day for 30 days. Number two, how many kids you got?
4.
Number three, how many kids you got?
I got 4.
You have 4 kids? How old?
I got twins that are 4 and then a 5 and a 6-year-old.
Okay. When I ask you what you're running from, one of the most common questions I hear, or common answers I get from high-performing dads, and when I say high-performing, high-earner dads, is that they look at the chaos at home and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to be a dad of 4 kids. They don't know how to be a husband of a wife with 4 kids. It's just chaos. And they think in their heads, the greatest gift I could give my family is to not be here and instead go make money. And if you are making money to help people, if you're making money to change a generational situation, go get it. If you're hiding from your family, stop. So I want you to plan something with each one of those kids. And it could be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I want you to practice plugging in at your home. Do bedtimes. Not for 30 days, not for the rest of your life. I'm not telling you to, if anyone makes $400,000, you need to stop what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying at all. Mm-hmm. But if you had a desire in your heart to provide good oil change services for people, to provide excellent food for people, I would tell you, George will walk you through how to do all that. But I don't hear that. I hear you running, dude, and running and running. And those 4 kids at some point are going to start asking what was so amazing about that restaurant that he gave us up for that thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want you to exhale for a second. And dude, I want you to make $5 million a year. It's not about the money. It's about George, and I can just hear in your voice, man. You're not comfortable in your own skin. And you're doing a pretty amazing job.
Here's the best question to ask yourself, Alex, because I've talked and hung out with all these people who are very successful young guys making crazy money, net worths of $20 million. And the question I think is so powerful for you to ask is this: 2 questions, or three words, and then what? I make $500,000, and then what? I make $1 million, and then what? Then I start 5 more businesses, and then what? Do you see where that's getting to? There's no real purpose behind it other than, well, because more is better. It's like a toddler mentality, right?
Yeah.
At some point, we have to learn also how to be content and how to have peace. Otherwise, it's going to destroy you.
Against that $400,000, how much do you owe? How much money do you owe?
I owe a substantial amount, but it doesn't come out of like my personal earnings because my real estate pays for it all. Like, I buy properties, I always put 20% down.
How leveraged are you?
So I probably, like, all in all, like with everything, my personal and, financial and work stuff, I'm probably like 1.1.
Okay, here's what you're doing. You're sitting on a time bomb, brother. You owe $1.1 million. And I know the TikTok bros and the Instagram bros are like, bro, you gotta leverage this to borrow this, and the bank's gonna
Arbitrage.
You're sitting on a bomb, and you know who knows it? Your nervous system. Your nervous system. Gotta slow down, brother. Hang on the line. I'm gonna send you Financial Peace University on us. I want you to watch it. Control, Alt, Delete. Get some peace in your life. We'll be right back.
You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 50% off selected styles. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel. The Ramsey Show question of the day is brought to you by Yrefy. Hey, we've all made money mistakes. If you have defaulted private student loans, we're not judging you. George might be judging you, but I'm not judging you. Wow. But we are saying you can do something about it. Contact Yrefy. Yrefy was created for people in your exact situation. Go to yrefy.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey to check it out. May not be available in all states.
Today's question comes from Declan in Washington. Together, my wife and I earn around $300,000 a year. We both enjoy buying and building Legos together with our sons. We have a large Lego collection, which I've been working on since I was a little kid. We're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. How much money is too much money to spend on hobbies like Legos? We've been spending $400 to $800 a month for the last 6 or so months. It's been a blast, and it's provided some really great quality time for our family. Great question. So regardless if you're into Legos, it's a good question of how much should you spend on hobbies in the budget?
Yeah.
People want parameters. They want the percentage.
Right.
How much is too much?
And that's a good question for me. I'm not a Legos guy, but I like I don't know. It's like buying stuff. So, yeah, help me out, George. On behalf of the Declans and the Johns of the world, is there a percentage?
The bad news is I cannot give you a prescriptive percentage because that would be insane. Like if you make $1 million, it's okay to spend $100,000 on your hobby, and if you make $20,000, you can only spend $200. So what I would say is, if it feels like it's too much, that's probably a good gut check. Your body's saying, "Hey, let's slow down." Now, these people make $300,000. They're in baby steps 4, 5, 6, meaning they're debt free with an emergency fund, and therefore, if that's where they want to spend their money, that's totally fine with me. I know that's probably a shocking answer, because here's the thing: some people are really into golf. Some of these golf memberships,
you're paying more than $400 a month.
It's $800 a month just for the pleasure of being part of the country club.
No, that's what it costs to sneeze on the course.
Exactly,
$800.
It's an initiation fee of your, firstborn child, I think. And so I don't judge people's decisions for what they spend their money on in their hobbies. What I do judge is if they're going into debt for it and if they're doing it at the expense of their financial future.
There you go.
So I would say $400 to $800 just on a gut check. When you make $300,000 a year, you're probably making. We're talking 15 to 20 grand a month.
Yeah.
So to spend $800 as a percentage, you're talking that's a fraction of your world. So I would say if that's what you're into right now, go for it. It probably won't be a forever hobby that you spend $800 a month for the next 20 years.
I also want to say this. Here's where I'm in support of Declan here. Declan did not try, like I have been guilty of, with like my guitars or other people or with their Beanie Babies or whatever. Is trying to say, I spend this money, but it's somehow an investment. I love that Declan just straight up said, I love doing this with my family. It's a way we bring ourselves together. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I love it. We're pretty much loaded. And is this okay? And for me, if it doesn't sound like there's a pathology around it. You're not trying to justify it. You're not trying to like twist up some magical story about how this is all going to work out for you financially in the end. This is just, dude, I like doing it. We make a ton of money. I'm assuming you're putting money away in 4, 5, and 6. I'm assuming you're super generous. Can I tell you, here's a balance I've struck with myself. I still have a lot of, purchasing guilt, if you will, just because how I grew up. We grew up with that a lot. And so maybe come up with an arrangement that I'm going to buy some Legos, but I'm going to give extra. Right,
Ooh,
I'm going to tip extra this month, or I've made some deals with myself to as a way to. It's not real. I just made it up. It's just for me, but it's all right. I'm going to buy this guitar, but I'm going to be extra generous in these other areas as a way to balance the cost.
That's a great point. Right? And for me, I'm pretty goal oriented. So if I had a mortgage to pay off and college to save up for, I would say, all right, we're going to limit this to $400 a month. Anything above and beyond that, we're going to throw toward the mortgage.
There you go.
And maybe pay the mortgage principal first, that extra, before we buy the Legos, and whatever's left becomes the play Lego money.
Becomes Lego money, that's right.
And so I think that is a better approach to it if you did want some balance. And again, I see a mortgage payment, I see the interest racking up, I'm less likely to want to go buy an extra $400
that's
in
my
Legos.
That's my hobby, right?
Then baby step 7, now we get to do some crazy, outrageous things because we don't owe anyone money.
With your Legos.
College is covered.
All right, let's go out to Pensacola and talk to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, what's up, dude?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Doing all right, brother. What's up?
Hey, so my situation now is my wife is no longer working full-time. She just gave birth to our second child a few months ago.
Woo!
And, yeah, we've got a 2.5-year-old son already.
Hey, Ryan, I get a lot of grief for interrupting, but can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Just no one's listening, just me and you real quick. Let's rephrase how you said that, okay? The way you phrased that was, well, my wife quit working. She gave birth to a kid, like as though she messed something up. So let's flip it around. Hey, dude, this is so exciting. We just had our second kid, and my wife is staying home with the baby. Say it like that.
Okay. Well, that's all right. So we just had our second child, and my wife is, for the most part, staying home with the baby.
Amazing. That's awesome. Way to go, dude. Very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, get to your question.
Yeah, so we've got a substantial amount of debt. We have been kind of living a little bit above our means, but it has been manageable when we were both working full time. Now I'm the primary, money maker in the house. and, things are starting to stack up now. We've kind of burned through our savings over the past year, and so now we're kind of looking at what can we do to, kind of lower our monthly expenses. We've already trimmed the fat as much as we can. I don't play golf on the weekends anymore. We don't go out to eat at restaurants anymore. I've got our grocery bill down pretty low every month, but it's still getting a little out of hand.
What's out of hand?
Is it your minimum debt payments? What is your total
Is your wife
debt?
spending a lot of money?
Yeah, so most of our debt is tied up in 2 vehicle payments that are both upside down. And
How upside down?
My wife has
$5,000 or $20,000?
Her car is we owe $23,000 on it, and it's worth about $17,000.
Okay.
And my truck we owe $15,000 on, and it's worth about $12,000.
Okay. And is that private party value? How'd you get to those numbers of what it's worth?
Yeah, private party value on KBB.
Okay. So we have a deficit here of $9,000. What's left in savings, if anything?
Nothing. So there was about $4,000 in savings a year ago, and we've just been eating through that slowly, trying to keep up with things. We've got a personal loan that's $9,000, and I've got a credit card that's $2,500, and then we got various little small credit cards that all total up to about a grand.
I'm going to let George walk you through the nuts and bolts, but I just want to say this, and I'm going to get some hate for it, but it is what it is. Y'all have created a world for yourselves where staying at home may not be an option for a season. It's a math problem. It's not a values problem. It's a math problem. Y'all owe a ton of money, dude.
Right.
And
If she was making $4,000 a month and daycare's $2,500, that's $1,500 extra dollars we can put toward debt. You see the math there?
Right. Thankfully, my wife is working part-time at the preschool my son goes to, so we get a discount there.
Yeah, but it's not cutting it, though. It's not working. You have a math problem. And it's because of the life y'all lived before you had kids.
Right.
So here's a few things you can do. Number one, cut up the credit cards yesterday. Get on an EveryDollar budget yesterday. I'll give it to you for free if you'll use it. And you're going to list out your income, then list out all of your expenses. And anything that isn't food, shelter, utilities, transportation, insurance, or minimum debt payments, it's gone. And on top of that, we need to go figure out ways to make more. And that might mean, hey, Dad's going to have to go after work to deliver pizzas or do Uber or whatever overtime you can do in order to make this work. But it sounds like you guys have, my guess is about $40,000, $50,000 in debt. How much do you make?
I make, with overtime and commissions, I make $55,000 a year.
Yeah, that's not gonna. You got to make more money, brother.
22 an hour. About 45 hours a week. So
We need to figure out how to create at least $2,000 in margin, so that in a year we throw 24 at it. This thing's done in 2 years. That's the math problem you guys need to figure out, and that might mean she goes back to work for a season.
Yeah, and it might mean you're working 7 days a week for the next 2 years, man, to dig out of this hole. And for everybody listening, man, I'm telling you, the debt's not worth it. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back next hour, right here.
Before we get to the next caller, I got some good news for you. Even when this portion of today's show runs out of time, there's still plenty more for you to tune into. Just head on over to the Ramsey Network app to finish today's show for free, right there on the home screen. And if you don't have the app, just search Ramsey Network in the App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link in the show notes for an easy download. You never know what call's coming up next, so finish today's episode in the Ramsey Network app today. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
What's going on? What's going on? I'm John with my good friend George Kamel, and this is the Ramsey Show live from Nashville, Tennessee. We are taking your calls on money, on building wealth, on your relationships, on your work, whatever you got going on in your life. 888-825-5225. George and I will sit with you. We'll listen. We'll figure out the next right step. We'll go out to Phoenix, Arizona, and talk to Cruz. What's up, Cruz?
Hi.
How we doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent, brother. What's up, man?
So I'm 20 years old, got married right out of high school, and I'm currently working at a church doing maintenance and stuff at around minimum wage. And
What's minimum wage?
Actually, I'm a little above. I think I'm making $16 an hour.
Okay.
So my wife works as well, so I think our monthly take comes around $4,000. But it's really expensive out here in Phoenix, so I'm wondering if I need to maybe look into somewhere I can make more money, or if I should move somewhere cheaper, or I don't know where to go.
I'm going to let George handle the dollars and cents, but can I just use you as a case study for what's going on in America right now?
Sure.
I feel like we've all been told, particularly those age 40 to 20, that you have a right to work whatever job you want to work and live wherever you want to live, in whatever city you want to live, in whatever neighborhood you want to live even, and that it should work out. And I love your humility, man. You're doing literally the Lord's work, man. You're cleaning toilets and fixing light bulbs. And I was a maintenance man at a church for years. You're doing good work behind the scenes, man. And you live in an expensive place. And so now you've got this math problem, right?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because you like the work you do and you do good work and you help people out and you're working for a bigger mission than just getting wealthy. And you probably have friends, a community, and family in Arizona. Is that right? In Phoenix?
Yeah, that's right.
I hate that for you, brother. But yeah, you're running up against, and I appreciate you just being open about it. Like, you're running up against a problem that everyone's running up against, which is, I wanted to live here, I wanted to do this job, and the math isn't working. And George and I were just talking off air. George gets roasted alive for suggesting, well, you have to make a change. You don't understand. You're an idiot. You don't care about me. No, it's I love you enough to say it's a math problem. Like, it's just a math problem. It just is. So, man, what do you think, George?
What does your wife think about this? Is she open to moving? Is she open to you switching careers and kind of having a big life change?
Well, I mean, we talk about it, but we are really connected here. You know, all our families here. We have deep friendships at our church, and you know, so it would be a hard thing, and we wouldn't know where to go. And as for a career change, I don't know what else I would want to do in life currently.
Well, we can help with that. I'm going to make sure before you get off the line, we give you Ken's new book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. It includes a Get Clear career assessment, and it'll help you get some gears turning about what you were really wired to do on this earth to make an impact. And it might mean, hey, I got to leave the church. I'm going to go do this other thing. I'm going to get this education, this credential. And for now, it might mean I'm going to go to Target and pick up a job making $20 an hour instead of $16, because that $4 an hour is an extra $8,000 a year that we can use to get closer to our goals. So what is your next financial goal? Do you guys have debt? Do you have savings?
Yeah, we got about a little over $2,000 in medical debt that we should be able to pay off soon. And we ran into a car problem and lost our baby step one, so we got to build that up again. But
so that's it. You just have $2,000 in medical debt?
Yeah.
Okay. So the debt is not the thing holding you back. It's not like if you were debt free, we can have our best life. We need to get the income up in order to live. What's your rent right now?
Right now I got it at $1,200, but in reality, I'm renting like a little house from my parents on their property, and
so it's sort of like artificially deflated rent.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we kept this rental situation until we got the better paying job, got out of the debt, got an emergency fund. Is that a good exit strategy?
I think I don't know. I don't know. Just looking out here, cheapest rent you can find $1,600 or $1,800 plus
for a one bedroom.
Like that. Yeah, for a one-bedroom.
What does your wife do, and what does she make?
She also helps with the church preschool, and she works at a Starbucks, and she makes probably about as much as I do. Overall, we bring in $4,000 a month. So
Cruz, I'm gonna speak directly to you because I love you. Okay, you're faced with a couple of challenges that really are not going to move. It's just expensive to live in Phoenix. Everyone in America wants to be hot all the time, I guess. And working at the church pays $16 an hour.
It's a job. It's not a career. And I want you guys to both sink your teeth into a career. Even if that's you, man, you're handy. You could go start a handyman business in Phoenix and charge $50 to $75 an hour. Do you believe that?
I'm sure I could figure that out. Yeah.
But you could even tell the people at the church and say, listen, I'm available for hire. I'm $60 an hour. I do good, reliable work.
I was going to say you can mow lawns, but the grass doesn't grow in Phoenix, but you can shovel rocks, right? But listen, here's the thing.
You'll quadruple your income tomorrow if you do that.
Can I just talk to you? Well, you called, so I am going to talk to you. Dude, you can't just sit at home and go, well, You deserve more than that. You know what I mean? I can hear you just feel trapped.
You lost your mojo, man. When's the last time Cruz was real pumped about something? Fired up? What was it?
Probably.
Was it a project, something you were doing?
Back in high school when I was renovating the house I live in now and getting married, and I got this job at the church, and yeah.
All right,
here's what
you were doing. You were building something. You were building towards your future. You and your wife go out tonight. You don't have a lot of money to spend, but go do something, even if it's going for a walk on a park bench or something, and y'all map out where you want to be in 2.5 years. Just pick a number, man, and almost be a little bit unrealistic about it. And then I want you to get on the phone tomorrow and call Target and call Walmart and call McDonald's, call everybody. Because you can serve that church on a volunteer basis when you can breathe. When your wife can breathe, when you got stability in your house. But the mopey, like, oh, well, I don't, it's hard, man. Dude, you're going to look up in 2 years and your problem's going to be here and you're going to have a kid on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I worry about that sometimes.
Okay. Then here's what we want to do. I want to stop worrying about it, and I want you to take action, take action, take action, take action. Okay? 5 applications by the time you go to bed tonight. 10 applications tomorrow. Let's see what you can cobble together work-wise and just go make some money. And what you're going to find is, I don't like retail. I love retail. Oh, this guy who I'm working for at retail needs somebody to help with a bathroom remodel. I can do that. And now you're off to the races. Or George said, like, man, call somebody put the call out at your church. I'm here to help anybody do anything after hours. And here's what I charge. I charge $40 an hour, and I'm the best there is, and I'll be on time, and I'll finish below budget. Man, you'll have more work than you know what to do with, but you got to go, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. And we can't want this more than you do.
Hang on the line. We're going to send you Ken Coleman's Find the Work You're Wired to Do. Be sure to take the Get Clear Career Assessment inside of that. I think it will unlock some really cool things for you.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable, Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Delony, joined by Jorge Kamel. And hey, listen, you want some more money and less stress? Of course, we all do. But if you scroll and scroll and scroll, George, you get more and more madness and madness and madness and madness. And thankfully, you used this wild thing that's not available very often, which is called Common Sense and Research and Data, for your new book, Breaking Free from Broke, which exposes the most common money myths and excuses head on, like credit card schemes and investing traps and mortgage myths and all of it. It's all the stuff they wish they taught you in high school, or that I wish Instagram got correct. Man,
this is the financial literacy that you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never got this 20 years ago, but it's not too late to get it now. Or, hey, I'm fresh out of college. I want to avoid all the mistakes. Can someone just cut through the noise and tell me the truth?
Yes.
And that's what this book was. And the reviews have been amazing, John, because people are telling me, dude, you convinced me to finally cut up the cards.
Yeah.
You convinced me that it's not as bad as I thought and that I'm in more control than I thought.
Well, it's one of those things where if you look around and everyone who's giving you advice is either broke or miserable or so anxious they can't breathe, it's like, there's this guy smiling on the cover. Maybe I'll try that one, right? And it's actual truth. You'll gain knowledge and confidence to break free from a system that let you down. Here, can I tell you this? This is totally aside from this commercial I'm doing for your book. It's so ironic to me the people that get the most mad at you are the ones you're like, it's like their bike has been chained up to a fence and you've got the chain cutters and you're like, excuse me, please, can I free your bike? And they're like, no. And you're like, and I just want you to be able to go home and ride your bike wherever you want to. Can I just cut this? And they're like, no. It's those people you're trying to help are the ones that get so mad.
It is wild out there. But I kind of, part of it, it's what Dave's been doing for 30 years, is stirring up a ruckus by telling people to like live on less than they make. And it, really riles them up. No one tells me how to live my life.
That's right.
And so I try to do it with a dose of humor and self-awareness and get to the objection in your head before you do. Yeah. And this book, I feel like, is the modern version of, here's 30 plus years of the Ramsey principles distilled down through this millennial sort of younger lens that isn't yelling at you.
Right.
But it's kind of a snarky, like, hey man, come on.
Yeah.
We can do better. And here's
they still
the stats.
work. They still work. Still works.
Go to
RamseySolutions.com/store. What are you going to say?
Well, we wanted to make sure this book was practical, so we included for free 3 months of the premium version of EveryDollar, which is our #1 budgeting app. So you get to connect to your bank, you get the paycheck planning tool, all the fancy stuff the team's throwing in there. You get 3 months of it with the book. There's a QR code inside you can check out. So get the copy today at RamseySolutions.com/store. Click the link in the description if you're listening on YouTube or podcast. And if you've checked it out and you love it, make sure to spread the word and send one to a friend who could use it.
It's Christmas time. People are going to need it. Let's go out to Chi-Town and talk to Chris. What up, Chris? How we doing?
Hello?
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
What's up?
Well, hey, I want to know a couple things.
Okay.
If we have some debt. We have some debt. So finding out that as a couple we have about $575,000 in debt. I don't have a job.
How much of that debt's your mortgage?
Our mortgage is $332 and a second mortgage at $65.
Which ones did you know about?
I knew about that, and I thought we probably had some credit card debt, but I didn't know it was this significant.
Was this done behind your back, or is this you're not paying attention? I hear in your voice you're trying very much to not dishonor your husband by telling the truth that he borrowed a whole bunch of money behind your back and hadn't told you the truth.
Yeah, well, correct. And he also took out about $80,000, I think, in our 401k that he didn't tell me about.
What is he spending this on?
He is spending it on, I believe, our paying. What do they say? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. I think we're just cycling that.
What did he use it to pay?
Not this much.
Cars, probably some vacations that I didn't really understand weren't real money, but credit card money. My daughter's at college, and we're paying for that. We're paying for all her expenses. she's in her fourth year. She's a senior right now.
Okay.
But we also have a significant son. Well, our son is significantly disabled, and he lives with us. He's 24.
Okay.
And so that prevents me from having an income outside of the home.
Okay, so you're a full-time caregiver?
Correct.
That doesn't explain $180,000 of outside spending and debt.
Yeah, here's what you really need is for him to sit down with receipts.
Okay.
And here's this is a hard conversation we're having, and we're going through it real quick. George and I don't see very often that this much debt this fast is taken on things. Like you get what I'm saying? Like it's not usually like a couple of vacations and a new car. Almost
Really?
always
See,
there's
that's
something
where I'm
nefarious
trying to-
going on.
That's where I'm struggling. Is there an addiction? Is there
My head goes right to addiction. My head goes right to there's somebody else. My head goes right to there's a big gambling issue. Like my head goes to there's something big going on. And hey, look, if he sits down and says no, here's $100,000 in college tuition. Here's these 2 vacations. Here's these 2 cars. Okay, cool. Just show the receipts.
okay?
And that you don't have that piece because the rug just got pulled out from under you.
It really did. So I know he likes to gamble. He likes to,
Well, you buried the lead there, Chris.
There it is. Yeah, I want to see receipts.
You're telling me that someone who likes to gamble, who spent and went $180,000 into debt, spent none of it on gambling?
But what if it was over a period of about 10 years? Is that feasible?
Anything's feasible. That's $20,000 a year. Of course, that's feasible.
Okay.
My
But how am I
gut.
going to know if it's a gambling debt?
Just show me the receipts.
I have a hard time believing he's going to prove that there was $178,000 or whatever spent on, well, I used that to pay down this debt and pay the tuition and cover this cost. He's not going to be able to come up with it. He's going to get defensive and he's going to get angry.
How did you find out,
Right.
Chris?
We've already been there.
Okay.
We've already been there.
How'd you find out?
But yeah, he's defensive and angry. And then I finally pulled up the Wells Fargo app that shows credit reports and debt, and I was astonished.
Okay, I want you to pull all 3 credit reports. Okay, and
You can go to
Yeah.
annualcreditreport.com and do this for free. Don't pay for it.
they're all free. And I want you to compare and find out just how bad it is. I also want your kids to pull credit reports and see if anything has been taken out in their name on their Social Security number. Again, all this is free. Annualcreditreport.com. And I want you to hear the words that this is what we call this in our house and here in this building. We call this financial infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
That betrayal is that deep. Because now you got a special needs son that's 24, and you've already been thinking about life after you guys, and you're thinking about a special needs trust, and then you find out you're $200,000 in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we have to have a come to Jesus truth telling. Everything's got to be on the table, and then we got to figure out a plan working its way out.
And part of that plan is we are freezing our credit. All of it. Your credit, my credit. No one is taking out a loan ever again for any reason.
Right.
It might be telling your senior in college you got to pay for the last semester on your own. Sorry, we're broke. You got to sell some cars. You got to sell the house. I mean, there's going to be a reckoning to this.
What does he make?
Oh, he makes I just asked him $162 a year.
Okay.
But he's in sales, so it's fluctuates.
It's up and down. Yeah. Chris, I hope beyond everything that this is just the accumulation of a couple of grand a month over the course of 10 years. I hope that's the case. Mm-hmm. It would be very rare if there's not something else going on. I love being wrong. I'm wrong often. My wife reminds me. I love being wrong. I hope I'm wrong here, but more so than I hope I'm wrong, I hope you get some peace in your life. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you Financial Peace University. This is 101. This is back to basics, and your husband's going to say, I don't need to watch that crap. He does.
He does.
Because he's about to lose his wife over it, okay? Y'all watch these lessons together, and then I'm going to send you EveryDollar, the best budgeting app, and y'all are going to be able to keep track together on how this expenses are going to go.
Full transparency.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
don't get to stay ignorant for another day, Chris. You're going to be very involved from here on out.
We'll be right back.
I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I have taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady, and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out, how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? And it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through, how am I going to pay my bills?
How am I going to eat next week?
Yeah, in the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Zander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance. And we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Zander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
It really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Zander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Zander.com.
Welcome back. This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel. We have this rad new thing called the Ramsey Network app. And it allows us to do things where we're not censored, where we don't get throttled, where we can control our own messaging and our own words, our own content. So it's completely free, and we have early releases in there. We have special interviews in there. We've got all kind of cool stuff. It's the Ramsey Network app. You can get it anywhere, but also it provides you an opportunity to ask direct questions that we can respond to. People try to call, and they don't always get through on the phone lines, but here's a place where you can leave questions. So here's a question from the Ramsey Network app. The question's from Thomas. This is going to be a fun answer because you and I probably handle this very, very differently.
Very. I thought this is the question for John.
And I thought this is a hilarious. I'd like to know George's answer to this. While in baby step 2, how should people prioritize emergency preparedness, such as purchasing generators, food, water, and general supplies for when it all goes down?
Well,
actually, they didn't say that. For an unknown future, I added that part for emphasis. Because, George,
I think that's the spirit behind it.
It's all coming down. That's right. And actually, as I say that in jest, I have stored food. I've got stored water. I've got a generator. And there's a hurricane of the century heading towards Florida. So this is a legit question. This doesn't feel like a... and while we're at it, the moon landing was fake and the Earth is flat.
Yeah, this isn't quite conspiracy.
No, this is for real.
I'm going to assume the best intent from Thomas here.
That's right.
This is a normal, level-headed person.
Correct.
So baby step 2 means you have $1,000 in a starter emergency fund, but all other money is going toward debt payoff. So he's saying, hey, how do I prioritize things like a generator, food, water, supplies? Well, I would say we got to limit what we can do. We're not going to go build a bunker and spend $20,000. But if you want to go to Costco and get a little emergency preparedness kit for $60, put it in the budget and go do it. So I would just say you got to limit how much we're spending on this preparedness idea. Is this a can of gas in the garage, or is this a $5,000 generator? There's a big difference.
And I think I love that, George. There's some nuance here. So emergency preparedness started a week ago for people in the path of Hurricane Milton that's headed right there, right? And so I would have considered that an emergency. Pause everything, get water, get some food, or fill up your cars with gas and get some gas cans and go stay with some relatives or some friends in a safe location. So preparedness, when it's acute, like, man, you got to do what you got to do to survive and take care of your 4 walls. Preparedness, as in maybe like me, you watch a lot of YouTube videos and got some good Instagram accounts on when it's all coming down, right? For me, the most pressing emergency in my household was how much money I owed people that would come knocking on my door or take my house from me, take my cars from me, right? So that is a bigger emergency, number one. Number two, then you begin to say, okay, I live in the country, so if the power goes out, I don't have any water. Like, I got to go get buckets of water to flush my toilets, right? That's different than living in the city. So ask yourself where you are, and that's a part of living out in the country. And then the other thing is, over time, you don't owe anybody any money. You're working on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. As a family, save up and buy a generator. Are you going to have a portable generator or one you're going to have built into the ground that's going to, automatically kick on?
I haven't thought this through, John. Thanks for asking the hard questions.
You're welcome. But again, here's what I want people to do. Make these purchases intentionally. Don't make these purchases haphazardly from a state of panic. Remember, when your body goes to fight or flight, when you watch enough videos and your palms start sweating and your heart rate's racing, you're like, oh my God, it's all coming down, right? You're not going to make informed, rational decisions. And if you're still paying off your student loans, you don't need to have 5 years of food. You need to pay off your student loans. Pay off your student loans. And again, all this is coming from a guy that's got a generator and food and water. Like, you know what I mean?
And I just know a guy.
And
so that's
you know
the other half.
You'll never find me, George. You'll never make it. Here's what I know. Your Tesla will run out of charge again.
Thank you. It wouldn't make it very far trying to evacuate anywhere, unfortunately. So there's that.
That's a great video. You just pile in the film. Let's go. Pile in and it makes it to the end of the block.
Trust me, my wife was like, we got her a new to her car, and I was like, hey, you should get a Tesla. And she was like, we are not going to be are you serious? We're going to have a gas car in the family.
That's a very anti-fragile wife. Good for her. All right, let's go out to Tampa, Florida and talk to Jared. Should have gone to Jared. We're going to Jared. What's up, Jared?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Just calling in. First, I want to say thank you guys. Working through your guys' steps and working with Jim Stovall is what allowed us to get out of debt and have an emergency fund to buy the plywood and board up our house and evacuate to Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, hope you guys are safe, man. Are you guys out?
Yeah, we're in Tennessee right now.
Oh,
good. Good.
I have family down there, but just praying for them. And
that's right. We all have those family members, Jared, that just decide, nope, we're going to stay. So yeah, we'll pray for them. We will pray for them. How can I help you today, brother?
Yeah. My question is just thinking about future family planning. My wife is here with me, and we don't have any kids yet, but I'm trying to figure out the health insurance thing. I've had people recommend high deductible plans with an HSA, or there's standard plans, or I'm on MetaShare, and so what do you guys recommend for as far as that goes?
Well, there's two kind of buckets to put this in. If you and your family are relatively healthy, then the high deductible health plan makes a lot of sense. And you get the HSA, which is one of my favorite tools out there because it's triple tax advantage. So the money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, you can withdraw it tax-free for medical expenses. So it's a really cool tool. And then like a PPO plan might be better if you go to the doctor a lot or if there's kind of chronic health issues. And so there's kind of two buckets. If you're like always going to the doctor, you might hit that out of pocket pretty fast and then it's covered. But if you never go to the doctor, that's also a bucket where the high deductible health plan wins. So it really depends on you and your family situation, your health. So what would you say is the status of your family and their health?
Yeah, we're both really healthy. We like to do checkups, once or twice a year. But just thinking in a couple of years, we want to start having kids and want to make sure that we've got help with that and coverage for that.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, the pros of like a PPO versus the high deductible health plan is there's a lower deductible and there's lower out-of-pocket max. The cons are there's higher premiums and there's a smaller provider network. So the high deductible health plan wins when you look at the premiums every month, but it does have a higher deductible. So if you guys can save up for that out-of-pocket max and be prepared for that higher deductible, then I think it's going to be a win in most cases. And it's what I personally have for my family through Ramsey, is I do the high deductible health plan with an HSA. I imagine John does the same. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we do. And I'll tell you, Jared, if I was back running it back again, having little babies, I'm too old for that now, but if I was having babies, and I knew, like you, I'm going to plan for 2 years from now or 3 years from now, my intention would be to go into that 3 years out and save up money and go to the hospital and say, what is the cash pay for baby? And they'll give you an all-inclusive cost. Now, if you have an emergency C-section, something like that, of course, it's going to be extra, but often they will, almost always, they'll give you a cash option to come and have a baby, and it's inclusive of the before and some of the limited aftercare. So I would have that conversation, but it might be just $5,000 or $7,000, and it's like, all right, we got 3 years to save up for that. Let's head on down that road.
All right, and then as far as like the high deductible plan with an HSA goes, that high deductible, like we'd save up for that, and would that be part of the emergency fund, or is that something to save up for separately? Or
I think it's fine to have in the emergency fund. The chances of like the HVAC went out plus the deductible and all these things happening at once is very slim. But let's say the deductible is $7,000 for the family. I would make sure to have at least $7,000. And when you have your 3 to 6 months expenses saved up, that's likely going to be $15,000 or $20,000. So you'll be plenty in the clear as far as that goes.
Yeah, and George, that's what we've always done, is hold the deductible as a part of the emergency fund. It wasn't on top of the emergency fund.
And plus you have the HSA to cover medical expenses as you begin contributing to that.
Yeah. And so if you can, I say get lucky, if you can go a month, a year, and not have to touch that HSA, that becomes a really
because you can invest
wonderful cushion. That's
beyond
exactly
the floor, and then it becomes like a retirement account. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, that's it for this segment. We'll be back in just a few minutes right here on The Ramsey Show.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel, the handsomest face in radio.
Wow.
Let's go out to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and talk to Laura. Hey, Laura, what's up?
Hi.
What's going on?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. Last year, I worked through the Ramsey plan and paid off my student loans. So
amazing.
I really appreciate all the work that you guys do.
How much did you pay off?
$47,000.
Wow. So do you not owe anybody anything anymore?
Nothing. Nope.
All right. Can we do an impromptu? You do a debt-free scream right here on the radio?
Sure.
Can you scream your head off? Are you in a place where you can scream real loud?
I'm in my work parking lot.
Oh,
sure. Yeah, that'll do it.
People already think you're crazy. It'd be great.
It's true.
All right, count it down. You paid off how much? What's the total?
$47,000.
$47,000. All right, we got Laura from Minneapolis paid off $47,000 doing an impromptu, kind of weird, screaming in her parking lot, debt-free scream. Let it rip.
Do I count it down?
Count it down.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. I'm not free.
Dude, look at George even coming through. All right.
The best is you're watching on YouTube. The team zoomed in on the debt-free stage with the graphic and animation.
Yeah,
well done.
Only thing it's missing was you. Yes. All right. So what's up, Laura? How can we help?
Okay. So actually, well, speaking of being debt-free, so I found some land recently. and it's a really good deal. And I don't necessarily have the funds for it. So normally I wouldn't even consider.
That makes it not a good deal.
I know, but hear me out.
All right.
So it's 20 acres for $29,000.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I might buy it. Is there bodies buried on it? Why is that cheap? What's so cheap?
I can't give the specifics. I don't want anyone else to find it.
Wow.
Yeah, just tell me where the GPS coordinates are.
Yeah. So it's like I've driven past this land a million times. I checked it out last night. I plan to check it out with the seller because I think the owner is just selling it directly. I'm planning to check it out tonight with him. And it's just a wooded area. A little bit of it is I don't plan to like build a house on it or anything anytime soon. I would honestly like live on it in a tent, or just save quite a bit before building or anything.
Then why are you buying this? Camping is a lot cheaper if you don't need 20 acres.
Well, eventually I would like to.
Have you ever lived in the woods?
I've camped plenty.
Have you ever lived in the woods?
No, but I have considered it many times.
All right,
and
I do.
I have a place where I rent.
I do, and it's awesome.
You live in the woods.
But it is not what you think. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't necessarily need to live there because I do rent for pretty cheap, so I could rent, for a long time before building on there. But I guess the point of it was I don't plan to spend any more than the $29,000.
I know, but you don't have $29,000.
I don't have $29,000. No.
Can I give you a great Mama Camel wisdom? This isn't. I'm going to say it in Arabic. I'm going to butcher it, but it's el jamel bil irsh uma andi irsh. And that's what this literally translates to. The camel costs 1 penny, and I don't have 1 penny. Is that not the coolest Mama Camel wisdom right there? So here's what that means. It's the thing that's the best deal that you can't afford is a bad deal.
Right.
So you're going to make payments on this thing that sits there that you don't even use, all for the pleasure of knowing that you could camp on it?
Yes, but I can't take out a loan on it. Because I don't have...
You're correct.
Yeah.
Because no banks thinks this is a good investment.
And you know what the bank wants? Your business. And when they're like, we can't take your business, then that's called a gatekeeper. Right. They're trying to protect you from yourself.
So your only option would then be to do like an owner financing thing where they essentially loan you the money and you pay them back. And you just create your own deal.
Uh-huh.
And I have a feeling you're actually going to try to do that when you go walk it.
You probably don't. So actually, I was wondering maybe if there was some kind of other option, like have people convinced owners to wait 6 to 8 months while someone saves up for it?
They absolutely have.
I mean, they've had this land forever. If you really convince them that Laura is amazing, this is who I want this land to go to, and then you work your tail off and go save up $29,000, maybe they'll call it good and say, all right, we're willing to sit on this land for 12 months, but you're agreeing to buy this at this future date.
And I'm making this up. Dave is a real estate guy, so I'm making this up. But if maybe there's a contingency contract that says I intend to buy this in 6 months, and here's my plan. And even invoke the name Ramsey. I'm a Ramseyite. I don't have the cash. I'm saving up like mad. I just paid off all my student loans. I really want this. Will you hold it for 6 months? And here's my plan for how I'm going to get $29,000. Maybe.
So there's a small chance.
Yeah, so you're telling me there's a chance, right? Lloyd Christmas thought the same thing. But hey, can I tell you something to give you some sort of optimism?
Sure.
I promise, other land will pop up.
Yeah.
It just does. It does.
I think so. I think this is a good deal. I don't usually find land for this cheap, or I haven't. But also, my friend just told me last night, she was like, do you need 20 acres? Or would you be fine with a lot less? I think I would be fine with a lot less. You would. But here's what you have in your head. You've worked really hard for the last few years, and you're tired, and you deserve this. And it's kind of a carrot out there, and it feels awesome. And I totally get it. I've got land for sale all around me, and I can't afford it, and it makes me BANANAS, as the great Gwen Stefani once sang. It makes me crazy. But I can't afford it. And so I can torture myself every day by being like, oh my gosh, I can't afford it, so I can go play with my kids. It's a better use of my time, or go run around with my dog. Right? Yeah.
Just don't make yourself bananas.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And what are you going to do with
I'll
20
try not.
acres, for real? Like, what are you going to do? Are you a hunter?
Well, sometimes.
Okay.
My family hunts, so.
Yeah. And,
But, I mean, that would be a lot more expensive than hunting on some free land.
and what's the taxes on this 20 acres?
I don't actually know. I'd have to ask the owner.
That's a great
Yeah,
question.
what's
to
the
ask.
easements
What is the
and-
ongoing maintenance cost?
It's right on land, or it's right on a road.
Yeah. And what's
So-
the easement
and I
cost?
don't even.
You have to pay part of that. Like, yeah, it's just a lot. And I feel like I'm ruining your dream, and you're actually one of the people I don't want to ruin your dream. I'm happy for you. I wish every American could own 20 acres. It's amazing. You just don't have $30,000.
Yeah. But I could get there pretty soon, I think.
Okay. Come up with a compelling story. Get a guitar, maybe sing it to the guy. Maybe he'll hear that. Or you may take him out, and he just gets really mad that you wasted his time. He's gonna look at you and be like, "You don't have any money?" And be like, "No, but I really want it. In 8 months, I really want it." Yeah, but you don't have any
or
any
it's a
money?
Christmas miracle, and he gifts it to her at no charge.
Christmas miracles. That's the George I know.
I'd always ask, why are you getting rid of it? It's a fair question to ask.
Why are you getting rid of it so cheap?
Where are the bodies buried?
What's going on, Buster? Yeah, there's like some secret
It just feels awfully cheap. I know it's, Minnesota,
plutonium
but
under there.
land ain't cheap these days. So like a grand an acre feels insane.
I know. I kind of want to get it, even though I don't go to.
You'll never find it.
Hey, for all of you listening to the show on YouTube or podcast, show's about to end. I want you to head over to the Ramsey Network app, totally free to download. You can finish the show for a distraction-free experience. If you want to go further with Ramsey, we pick the calls for you, filter by topic, and you can get all your favorite Ramsey shows in place. That's important. So if you want to go back and run a call back, or if you want to be like, hey, I need a call about buying land without a credit score, it filters for you automatically. You can get all your answers right there. Don't miss what's coming up next, and you can click the link in the show notes and go watch the rest of the show in the app for free. If you're listening on the radio, it's going to continue on like radio does.
Sorry, John, I was distracted. I'm now on the Ramsey Network app. I'm watching you live. That's very meta. It's pretty cool. I apologize.
If you're wondering,
I'm going to go now.
Is it hard to work with Gen Z in the workplace?
I'm not even Gen Z. I'm 35 years old, man.
The answer is correct.
You're like 4 years older than me.
Whatever. He's playing Fortnite underneath the table over here.
These Gen Xers, they're all upset because they're the forgotten generation.
Oh, we just don't want the world to fall apart, and you guys are hell-bent on VRing the whole thing.
This is good reason to tune into the next hour on the Ramsey Network
We'll
app.
see you soon right here on The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, it's getting weird over there, guys. What do we do?